Hello everyone, how you doing? You're very welcome to this week's Rugby View with myself, Aidan and Raftery, and of course as always, from Creggs Rugby Club, we have Adrian Leddy. Hello Adrian, how are you? Are you well?
Great, Aidan. Great indeed now, and enjoying great weekends of rugby, both on the television and in the club and at Connacht level and so on. So it's a great time for sport and to be out there. And the weather has been kind to us as well in September.
That's it, and hopefully it'll continue for another while. But you never
Yeah.
know. This is Ireland. So yeah, I suppose we'll kick off with as we always do with Craig's, and yeah, as I said, the season is underway, and the first team are in Collie Cup action.
We were indeed. We had a big game in Creggs last Saturday evening. Absolutely a fabulous evening for rugby. We played it on the grass pitch, the old pitch, the green, and the condition. It's in great condition, and all credit to the groundsmen for looking after it during the summer, because it's in fabulous condition, and it led to good rugby, good open rugby. We played Castlebar in the second round of the Carrick Cup, and we ourselves and Tuam tops the table now in that division. So it was enjoyable. It was very open rugby. And there are a lot of great scores and great tries from both sides. But Craig's probably had a better backline out than they had the previous game against Ballinrobe, and they ran a lot of ball at Castlebar, and it was great to have a couple of players back, and as well as that, we had two players to back into the side. We had Jack Tucker, who was out with a long-term injury, back for his first game, and we had the great inspirational Tom Callahan back. Tom took time out to try his rugby in Dublin. Time-wise, he wasn't able to make it down to Craig's, but delighted to see Tom back in a Craig's jersey, and it will strengthen the team because Tom was club captain for a number of years. His leadership and quality of the man and player that he is, he will help the whole back line on the team. And no matter where he plays, he can either play in the back line or he can play wing forward. So he's a utility player, and he's a big asset. And so is Jack Tucker. Jack Tucker is a very strong young lad, a great prospect, and we hope that he can get a good season in behind him now this season.
And of course, I suppose as the development team, which is your second team as well, when are they out?
Well, I suppose Aidan, it's again a combination of the first team at the moment with the as I said in previous interviews, a lot of Gaelic football on in both Rosfm and Galway at the present time. Some of that will be coming to an end as they either finish off their various championships games in the various divisions. So that will help Craig. So the seconds will not be, taking part in the development squad in any game until the league starts in October. But the first, and it's great to have the first and seconds out there training, and they're prepared now for the big game on Saturday for a top of table clash with Tuam away. It's now Tuam is a very strong side. They're a good team. They have been playing exceptionally well. They have beaten the two teams that we have played in Ballinrobe and Castlebar as well, convincingly. So it will be a good tight game on Saturday evening in Tuam.
That's it. And I suppose moving on then to underage now, it's great to see the underage players from under 12s, I suppose, upwards, to getting back into it again, isn't it?
Yeah, youths is going well, and they have to work it out on for the various pitches and coaches to have training on various nights So they've all set their various nights for training. So like there's great activity around the club during the week now with all the different boys and girls out training. So it's great, and it's great to have the facilities to be able to cater for that. And at the women are going very well, and like we seen there last Saturday where we had 5 girls from the club on the Connacht under 16s in a tournament against the other provinces. And it's great to see ones coming through at that level. We're well represented at under 16s and at under 18 level now on girls, and we have a senior blitz in Creggs this weekend, and we hope to be able to field a senior team against to be other clubs coming from Westport, coming from Sligo, coming from Ballinrobe. It'll be great to have a women's tournament in Creggs on Sunday.
That's it, and it's great to see that, and of course they're a vital bloodline, I suppose, to the adult teams as they make their way up through the grades. These players, and we've seen the players that are there in the first team at the moment. They came through the same system, so and I think the conveyor belt, judging on the success at underage level from the last couple of years. I think that the success and the quality of players coming through the system, the future is looking bright for the club.
Well, it's always a case of trying to hold on to them, and that they will stay with you, and that they don't move on to some other club, and that's the important thing. As you rightly says there, Aidan, that we have a structure there in place that we can bring them along into a senior women's team, and it would be great, that these under 16 girls and under 18 girls now that's performing at a high level, to see maybe in a couple of years them coming into a senior team, and that we have a good structure in place, that they don't have to look elsewhere to go and play their rugby, that we will be able to facilitate them within Creggs. And we're at the moment we're putting a structure together. The football committee is looking at it in relation to having a full coaching and management structure there in place for a senior women's team.
And of course, as always, to finish up with, we also mentioned the mini rugby. What's the state of play there? I'm gathering that they're back in play now again, are they?
They'll be up and running shortly now, and again, it's always great enjoyment on a Saturday morning when you see all the young boys and girls out, and needless to say that now the schools are back. Rugby will there'll be. And a lot of the other sports, the players will now love to get back into playing rugby and coming out to Creggs on Saturday morning. So we'll give you an update on that there as it goes along.
That's it, and we look forward to that. And I suppose a byproduct at underage level as well is colleges rugby. Obviously, Rosfm and CBS, but also there's colleges open at loan as we know as well. That's something we'll be covering obviously as the months go on. It's a key part of the development of these players at underage level, isn't it?
Quite a lot of players go on and they play within their colleges while they're there, and they probably get back into the thing, the sway of things, both boys and girls, and in October when they know who they have, and get up and running. So that's another great standard of rugby to play with their own college mates and friends as well. So that gives players another opening to play rugby and play all other forms of sport and that then as well in college. It probably is a way of getting the right balance between the education and the leisure activity of playing sports. And everybody says that that it's great for young boys and girls that when they are in college that they're able to get out there and get away from the classroom and out and get a bit of fresh air into the system and and enjoy their sport. And the same with the schools, as you say, with the community schools, CVS, Balagar, all the different schools. They'll all be up and running as well in the Connacht schools competitions when they get up and running now in October.
And of course, as well, along with the colleges and the club, it's great for them as part of their development that there is, and it's, I suppose the IRFU, the schools and the clubs have in place, I suppose, a clear pathway that these players, be whatever level they're happy at being, whether they want to just kind of play a club with Creggs or whatever, or and play colleges, or if they want to, we say, go on and play for Connacht, or even maybe wear the green of Ireland. But at least there is a great pathway there for the players to follow, and it's great to see them developing through that, and like they can decide themselves from that what level they want to go to, or find their own kind of niche in rugby. Isn't that it?
It is, yeah. As well as that there's probably people in colleges all over Ireland, and it's probably not feasible for them to get back to their own local club every weekend to play. So it's great then that they can participate with their own college for the year or two that they will be in college, and they'll come back to their own club then when they're probably finishing college, and hopefully that they get employment locally as well. This is an important thing in order to hold on to players, both boys and girls, that you have coached up through the system, that they remain here. Now, needless to say, that a lot of these young boys and girls like to travel now, and we have lost a number of players that have gone off to Australia and other areas touring, and I'm talking to other clubs, and it's similar with other clubs, and particularly after COVID. That a lot of players didn't get an opportunity to get away, and maybe that they're taking a year out of work now to travel for a year away. So hopefully all the players too will come back into their local clubs, and that they will get employment here. There's great opportunities now in Ireland. For jobs, there's great employment around. Everybody will say the hardest thing now is to get staff and to get people to work. So there's no shortages of work, even if you're prepared to work. So that's it.
That's it, and that takes us on now to, I suppose, the AIL level, and of course, the clubs we normally discuss, like Buccaneers and Carrick, and of course Sligo as well, but other clubs like Corinthians and things like that. We'll just touch on them as well. But I suppose with regards to Buccaneers, you've probably seen, or certainly through Niall Quinn, I've heard there that they're back in June. There was the mixed ability rugby tournament in Buccaneers in early June there, and from that, obviously, it was an All Ireland tournament, and from that they have they're actually having a team, a mixed ability rugby team, which is a great development, and it's great for inclusion and, I suppose, equality, and people of all abilities can take part in rugby, and that's great. And maybe there are other people that that are able to play, and that it's a great stepping stone that they can start off with that, and maybe when their skills improve, then that they can play proper rugby for one of the other teams in Buccaneers. But it's a stepping stone, and maybe, I suppose, other clubs might look at this, but it's a great thing to have in a club, isn't it?
Yeah, the area and other teams are looking at it and doing a certain amount in that there for us. And as I said, we have facilities within the club. As I said, we have rented out part of our old building to mixed ability west, and we for an educational point of view, a lot of our new development is all geared towards that as well. That people wheelchair access, lift being put in, and so on, and even a weight system and that there for them. So all that is now taken into account, and it's great, and it's something else that we have to be aware of and to cater for, and I'm delighted with the lead that Buccaneers have given it, and I was at the national competition down in Cork. There was run the Sun as well, and that they won it out, and Sun as well in Munster probably were the leaders in this, and I was delighted to be at the tournament and to see it, and I've gone to a few other tournaments as well. So it's there for everybody. And as you mentioned, Buccaneers, yeah, they're going well this season. Their team seems to be settling in very well under the new management and coaching team. Their first team now and Sligo top the table, so they have played out the games in the Connacht Senior League. So the two teams now face one another this Saturday in Sligo, in which will be the final of the Connacht League. So that will be a tight game between Buccaneers and Sligo. It will be an interesting to see how that game goes, and it'll be great preparation for both clubs going into the AIL as well. They need big games like this, and you mentioned Corinthians there. They have a local derby against Galwegians this weekend as well. So it'll be a case of who comes in third into the competition as well. So that's they're all important games at senior level. Carrick and Shannon is continuing to build up slowly. They're having a few coaching and training is going quite well, and then they have arranged a few friendly fixtures as well. So they have the youths and mini rugby and all up and running in Carrick as well. That's in a lot of cases now this weekend. Most clubs will have one or two youth teams out playing in the Connacht League, which will be up and running as well. So these are games that and leagues now that will be kicking in for all these young lads at the present time with all the clubs.
That's it, and it's all vital for the development and all that. But I suppose credit goes to Connacht as well for setting up these leagues, the clubs as well, obviously for playing in these leagues, because I mean the quality of rugby that's coming up now, at the first team, second team, all the underage structures, and of course mini rugby, around Connacht, and not just Connacht, I suppose all over Ireland. It's brilliant, and that's that's really very good for the future of rugby in Ireland as well, and I suppose future World Cups, future Six Nations, the next Robbie Henshaw or Johnny Sexton, these kind of players, and this is where it all begins. So it's I suppose it is a vital investment, isn't it? And that comes with having proper leagues in place that are there at the moment, and it's very good to have.
Oh yeah, it's extremely important to have proper structures in place, proper league programs, and I'm involved with that on the competitions committee within Connacht. And it's only when you're involved that you really see in the amount of work that goes into it, and the amount of teams that's playing every weekend within Connacht. And you have to thank all the officials or the referees in particular, and there to cover all these particular games. They're probably people that we don't give enough of thanks for, that they take their day off at the weekend to go out and referee a game. And it's a thankless job, but thankfully that we still have enough of people willing to take up the whistle. And I think they need it. Everybody needs to acknowledge them and to respect them for the job that they do, because without them we'll have no game. And it's the same same in any other sport. He'll hear criticisms of referees at various stages, and naturally enough, constructive criticism is never any harm. But we have to avoid abuse or of referees. I think we have to be very complimentary of the work that they do on a week in, week out basis. So the Connacht itself is playing a number of friendlies at this stage, training very well. So they'll be getting ready to start up soon as well. So in the full competition.
And of course, Connacht at underage as well is going fairly well. But I suppose, before we leave Connacht and of course the AIL, like I was saying, I suppose we have to compliment our friends and thank our friends. The AIL, they also have a Facebook page, Facebook page, and that's where I actually put the Rugby View podcast. This podcast, I put it on every week, and there's great feedback about it, and they really do appreciate the coverage we give, which is great. But I suppose with the knowledge that you have, it's brilliant.
There's a team of people there. In Gerald Williamson and a number of other great committee people highlighting club rugby and given what's happening around the various provinces at club level, and it's a great way of promoting club level, whether it's AIL, whether it's the various other leagues like junior leagues and junior clubs and so on. Like it's a forum there, and it's a forum that a lot of people are tuning in and watching now at the present time, because it's there's lovely wee stories about clubs, lovely wee stories about players, coaches, management, presidents of clubs, so on. It gives you a full rundown at times on different changes and on different people, and sadly also in relation to maybe some good old stalwarts that we all know that passes on to the next world. And again, it's a great forum at times to be able to highlight that there, that the rest of us knows of somebody's passing within the rugby family.
And of course, and the great thing about that page, and of course the AIL in general, is it's all about the grassroots as well, from grassroots up. And I suppose for yourself and myself, it's a pleasure that we're just playing our part in helping with the promote the AIL as well.
Yeah, it's very important that we get the message out there in relation to all clubs that that I suppose the likes of our own club in Creggs, Gerald and his team gives great publicity in that there to us, and covers all our various events, and the same goes for all our neighbouring clubs as well. So again, Connacht is very, very well covered. Yvonne Comer, myself, and a few others, and that there keep it up to date as well. So it's important that this continues, and that people fill in accurate information to them as well.
That's it. And of course, finally we move on to I suppose the event of the moment, really, the Rugby World Cup 2023 Rugby World Cup. Obviously, Ireland got off to a great start. Obviously, a lot of people, we expected them to beat Romania, but wow, what a scoreline Ireland put up on Saturday against Romania in what was a very warm day for them. And it just goes to show you the quality of the players. And it's good to see some of the players that were injured, that were named in the squad but injured, and now they're I think they're back in the squad again and available for selection against Tonga this weekend.
Well, I think you'd have to be there to really understand the heat. I had family members there. I had other people that have talked to that was there. They said that the heat was unreal. A lot of people had to leave. When you were watching it on television, you've seen a lot of empty seats. The reason being that the front seats are that so warm down towards the pitch that people had to move back inside out of the heat. And for players, and to see the Irish team, the way that they kept it going until the very end, when you knew that the temperatures are up in 36 degrees, and for Tyburn and them to score a last try within injury time was absolutely fantastic. To see that the fitness of the Irish team, that they were still willing and able to keep going, and that will stand to them as the tournament wears on. Now, as I said, it was I think foolish enough for the game to be played in that type of temperature, because I don't think it's safe to put out players in that high of temperatures to play a game of rugby. And I know that they brought in a number of water breaks so that they could build up in fluids again. But it's a big help. Thankfully, that a lot of the other games is going to be at 8 o'clock Irish time, 9 o'clock French time. That there will be at a sensible time where temperatures will be will be okay. But as it's moving on, I think that the temperature has dropped considerably in France since last Saturday. So Andy Farrell has named his team for Tonga. It's an extremely strong team that he's putting out again for this Saturday. He has only made four changes in bringing in starting Mark Hansen this week on the wing. He has Conor Murray in as scrum half. He has Roland Kelleher in as hooker, and he's just Fran de Veer in at open side wing forward. So they're the four starting changes of the team from the team that played against Romania. So, like Johnny Sexton and all starts again. It's a very strong team. He's not taking Tonga light. Tonga is a strong enough team that they have got a number of players that played with New Zealand and with other teams, and with the rules now that they were able to go back and play again with Tonga. We had a number of them that played here in Ireland. We had one or two with Connacht. There was one or two with Munster. That's on the Tonga side. So there, and even some of the coaching staff were involved here in Ireland as well. So they are very familiar with the Irish team. So that's why I'd say Andy Farrell is taking nothing for chance. And that's why he's gone for an exceptionally strong team this weekend.
And of course, sorry.
I was just going to say that on the bench, he has also brought in the Connacht prop Finlay Beelan on as the prop. This is the first time that Finlay has been within the starting 23, and Robbie Hinshaw had a slight groin injury or a hamstring injury, and he is now back. And it's great to see that Robbie is now selected on the bench again for this weekend, and hopefully the both Finlay and Robbie will get a run out at some stage during the game.
And of course, this does represent a huge step up from playing Romania. They are going to be a lot more physical, I suppose, than Romania, and I suppose that's to be expected. And of course, when you look on, then of course, then we'll be looking at it next week. Next up, then is Scotland, and then finally then against South Africa. So it's kind of good that we're building up gradually to it, from we say Romania right up to, I suppose, the toughest team in the group, which is of course South Africa. So at least we've some good points on the board now as well. A good scores difference we're building up as well, and we'll have some good matches under our belt then going into the South Africa game.
It's just it's the other way around, Aidan. It's Tonga this weekend, South Africa the following weekend, and Scotland.
Oh, sorry, it's the other way around. Sorry, yeah, I thought.
So but South Africa, yes, South Africa looks a very strong physical team, and we will definitely have to be on the ball now. Scotland looked poor against South Africa. I don't think Scotland would probably change their strategy a certain amount from that game. Now the hookers, South Africa has lost their starting hooker, and he got injured in the Scottish game, and he's going to take no further part in for South Africa. And also that the Scottish lost a hooker as well. He had an accident in his team hotel where he slipped on the stairs and had done damage and concussion from the fall. So they will take no further part in either for South Africa or for Scotland. So changes will be. That's what we always worry about in so many tight games, that you come away without injuries, and we were glad that that we had a full squad. Andy Farrell was able to pick from a full squad after the remaining game, and that's the important thing. And hopefully that against Tonga that we will come away injury free as well.
That's great. Well, listen, thanks very much for taking the time out to do Rugby View with us, and we look forward to doing it all again next week, and hopefully we'll be looking back at what is hopefully going to be another great victory for Ireland.
Thank you very much, Aidan.
No problem. Thanks very much. And that was Adrian Leddy from Creggs Rugby Club talking about all things rugby.